Hello everybody. I am Dr. A.M. Thirunjanam, Senior Interventional Cardiologist from IPCOD Cardiac Care Center. Today I am going to talk about exercise electrocardiography. What is mean exercise electrocardiography? What is the importance and indications to do this test in cardiovascular medicine? And what are the side effects? And how the results of the output of this exercise electrocardiography will help to give the treatment for the patient. ECG monitoring, that means blood pressure and functional capacity, prognosis of the patient. At the same time, how long the extent of coronary artery disease is present in a patient. This is the importance of doing exercise electrocardiography treadmill test. In this treadmill test, what happens when patient is walking on the treadmill? During the exercise, the patient heart rate will go up. Heart rate means in ECG waveform, between two R wave, the interval is calculated per minute. That is called heart rate. The heart rate will go up during the exercise. At the same time, cardiac output, stroke volume also will get increased during exercise electrocardiography. Stroke volume in the sense per second, per beat, how much volume of blood is expelled from the left ventricle. Cardiac output means how much blood volume coming out from the left ventricle per minute. Stroke volume normally ranges between 50 ml to 100 ml. Cardiac output between 4.5 liters to 8 liters per minute. So during this exercise, treadmill test, stroke volume, heart rate, cardiac output will increase. At the same time, in the respiratory level, lungs level, alveolar ventilation will go up, will get increased. Venous return also will get increased due to sympathetic activation during exercise test. During the strenuous exercise, sympathetic activation is increased. At the same time, parasympathetic activation is decreased. Almost it has been withdrawn completely during the exercise. That is the reason patient will get increased heart rate, stroke volume and cardiac output. Generalized vasoconstriction happens during this exercise except vital organs, especially in heart, brain, kidney and liver. Blood circulation will not get affected. In other peripheral vessels on exercise test, and brain normally will get normal flow. Coronary artery blood flow will be normal during this exercise. If there is any block in the coronary artery, the flow will be limited. That time, patient may develop difficulty in breathing, chest pain. At the same time, simultaneously we can see the ECG monitoring, there may be some STT changes. Most commonly, ST depression is found during the exercise time. ST elevation is a very dangerous changes during the exercise. If you see the ST changes, ST elevation during the exercise, if it is more than 1 millimeter, we have to stop the test immediately. I will come later when the condition when we have to stop the test immediately. During the exercise, the release of norepinephrine in venous and arterial due to sympathetic postganglionic nerve endings is increased, as I said before. That is the reason heart rate, cardiac output and stroke volume will get increased in exercise. Skeletal muscle blood flow also increases. Oxygen extraction increased threefold level. Pulmonary bed can accommodate almost six-fold cardiac output volume. The aim of this test is we can predict the coronary artery disease probability, not to confirm the disease. Sometimes the probability of diagnosing the coronary artery disease in treadmill test between 30 to 70% only. Because known coronary artery disease, it is not necessary to undergo treadmill test. Only suspected and probability coronary artery disease, to confirm the coronary disease, to start the treatment, anti-anginal, to taper the anti-anginal drugs, to increase the anti-lipid drugs and anti-anginal drugs, to titrate the dose, to taper the dose. This test is more helpful to define the treatment. As I said, the probability is between 30 to 70%, not 100%. If the low probability, if you are suspecting, anticipating low probability of coronary artery disease, less than 10% or 0, it is not necessary to do this treadmill test. And the predicted probability, as I said, 30 to 70%. Now, when to stop the drugs? When the patient reaches the target heart rate almost 80% or 90%. Meanwhile, if the patient gets any symptom or major ECG changes or any arrhythmia, we have to stop this test. If this everything goes well, the patient reaches threshold level target rate or target heart rate 80 to 90%, we can stop it. How we are calculating target heart rate? 220 minus patient age is equal to target heart rate. Between 80 to 95% target heart rate achieving by this test will give 100% correct result. If there is any insufficiency or deficiency in the reaching the target heart rate during this test, it is not going to help to come to a conclusion. What are the contraindications? That is a very important. Without knowing the contraindications, without assessing the patient properly before taking the patient to treadmill test, some few cases I heard from my colleagues in the other hospital, other countries. Patient have collapsed on the belt. They might develop ventricular arrhythmia, sudden cardiac arrest. If we don't properly evaluate the patient before taking for treadmill test. Very specific contraindications, some information I am going to give you here. If the patient developed acute myocardial infarction within 2 to 3 days, it is not advisable for treadmill test. If the patient is having classical angina, unstable angina, classical unstable angina means the patient will get chest pain on the chest. When he feels the chest pain, he holds the chest tightly. This symptom, holding the keeping the hand on your chest, is called a Haberden sign. Haberden sign is a very classical angina. It cannot be atypical angina. So the Haberden signs patient with the unstable angina, it is contraindicated. If the patient blood pressure is more than 200 or more than 220, we should not do treadmill test. First, we have to bring down the blood pressure under control, below 150, 140. Then we can take the patient for treadmill test. At the same time, if the diastolic blood pressure is more than 110, it is unadvisable. It is completely contraindicated. Patient with the severe aortic stenosis. Severe aortic stenosis patient, if you are taking the patient without assessing previously, patient may develop syncope, giddiness, chest pain, severe shortness of breath, and sometimes he may collapse on the table, on the belt during the exercise. Then say patient with congestive heart failure, class 3 and class 4, it is contraindicated. Congestive heart failure, as I said before, during this exercise, patient norepinephrine and epinephrine level will go up. In congestive heart failure, already patient will have elevated norepinephrine and epinephrine level. Again, during the exercise, epinephrine and norepinephrine level will go up. When it reaches the maximum level, unwanted level, the patient may develop ventricular arrhythmia and sudden cardiac arrest is very possible. So, be careful. Don't take a heart failure patient, class 3 and class 4 heart failure patient, New York Heart Association classification. Don't take the patient for treadmill test. And patient with a history of acute pulmonary thromboembolism or recent pulmonary thromboembolism acute pulmonary infection, acute pericarditis, and suspected aortic dissection and acute aortic dissection, left main coronary artery disease, particularly electrolytes abnormalities, low level of potassium and a high level of potassium, low level of sodium and a hyperkalemia, low level of potassium and a high level of potassium, low level of magnesium. These three important metal levels like electrolytes levels are very important. If the magnesium is very low, potassium is very low and sodium is low, you should have to correct the patient before taking to stress test. I heard many times patient with the hypokalemia they develop ventricular arrhythmia. Patient with the hyperkalemia they may develop ventricular tachycardia. Patient with low magnesium level they may develop ventricular tachycardia during exercise stress test. Because this test is very simple. The complications is due to improper assessment, improper evaluation before taking the patient for this test. So don't miss any points. This is not an ordinary test like a ECG or echocardiography or a CT or MRI scan. This is a very important test. At the same time, patient should be properly evaluated. As I said before, tachycardia, basically if the patient heart rate is more than 100, it is not necessary to go for treadmill test. First try to bring down the heart rate below 90-80. Then if it is stabilized, you can take. At the same time, if the patient heart rate is below 60, that means bradycardia, don't do this test. And very importantly, the patient is having mental impairment or physical impairment like leg pain or injury, scapular low back pain or lower limb pain or back pain, headache, sometimes giddiness. If their mental is not prepared, it is not advisable. And you cannot force the patient to undergo the test at any level. Patient comfort is very important, and assessing the risk, existing risk and a previous risk also very important before doing this investigation. Very important, as I said before, when to start the test, how to prepare the patient before taking this test. At the same time, when to stop the test. That's very important. And you cannot do the test until you get the target heart rate, 80 to 90% I said before. If the patient's systolic blood pressure is reduced from the baseline level, suppose if the baseline blood pressure is 120, again during the test if the blood pressure is coming to 110 or 100, you have to stop the test because patient anytime may go into syncope or cardiac problem. And if the patient is having severe chest pain during the test, you have to stop immediately. If the patient gets giddiness, drowsiness during the test, you cannot encourage the patient, pressure the patient to do the test. Stop the test immediately. Syncope, cyanosis, ventricular tachycardia. Syncope in the sense patient definitely we can assess. Ventricular tachycardia by monitoring the ECG during the exercise test. If the ventricular arrhythmia is present in the monitor, we have to stop the belt, the urgent button immediately. Don't run the test further. The patient is having more than 1 millimeter ST elevation. If the patient feels more weakness, tired during the test, stop it. If the patient is getting more breathlessness, shortness of breath and severe leg pain or cramps, stop the test. If the blood pressure is more than 250 during the exercise, stop the test. No need to continue. If the ST depression in the ECG monitor is more than 2 millimeters, stop the test. If the patient wants to stop the test, stop it. Because everything decided by the patient and previous evaluation, not by the consultant. So I can say indirectly, the test is, the patient is unwilling to do this test at any level. Don't force the patient to do this test. Here you can see how we are preparing the patient before treadmill test. Before checking and taking the patient, as I said, we check the blood pressure. It shouldn't be baseline more than 140, 150. And the heart rate, it shouldn't be more than 100. And the patient disability will check. If they have any leg implant or leg surgery, recent surgery, or any osteoarthritis, osteoporosis problem, or low back pain, everything. And the patient mental preparedness. So very important. If everything is okay, as I said before here, we see the patient heart rate here in this patient heart rate is 97. So I am taking this patient. And ECG waveform, you can see here, ECG waveform, normal ECG. There is no baseline STT changes. The patient is comfortable. Even though this patient is obese, almost more than 110 kilogram, that is not contraindicated. The patient doesn't have lower back pain or leg pain. So in this patient, before checking, this is stage 1 exercise. Patient is walking now. The stage 1 exercise consists of 3 minutes. Patient is supposed to walk 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes, the stage will get change. First 3 minutes, stage 1. Second 3 minutes, stage 2. Third 3 minutes, stage 3. So totally 9 minutes, 3 stages. Sometimes we may, to see the patient efforts tolerance, to achieve the heart rate, target heart rate, we would like to encourage the patient to finish 4th stage. It is not necessary, compulsory for all the patient to finish 4 stages. That means 12 minutes of exercise. In this first stage, the patient, the belt speed 1.7 miles per hour. The patient can achieve 10% of METs. First stage, patient get 5 METs. METs means metabolic equivalence. This is a way to estimate efforts tolerance. First stage 5 METs. This is a 10% of total METs. The speed is 1.7 miles per hour. When the patient finishes first stage, automatically the stages will get change. This is second stage of exercise, 7 minutes exercise. The speed is 2.5 miles per hour. Patient achieve 12% of METs in second stage. This consists 3 minutes. In the second stage, as I said before, heart rate, blood pressure will go up. We have seen before, the baseline heart rate is 97%. Now the heart rate came to 120 per minute. The blood pressure is 170 now. So every 2 minutes, we have to monitor the blood pressure and we carefully have to observe the heart rate in the monitor. As I said before, the monitor shows everything. Here the monitor shows everything. See, the patient, now the patient heart rate is 78. After the second stage, patients naturally go into third stage. This is third stage of exercise. Total minutes 9 minutes. Speed in this stage is 3.4 miles per hour. Arterial and venous circulation of norepinephrine and epinephrine level will get increased. Most of the time, patient gets sweating, uneasiness, chest discomfort, shortness of breath, leg pain during this stage only, stage 3. However, in normal conditions, sometimes the patient will become panic. We'll encourage them not to become panic because this test should be done under the guidance of cardiologist. It is always best the cardiologist presence will give more safety to the patient. 95% of the time, 99% of the time nothing will happen. The 1% emergency, catastrophic effect happens when there is no presence of cardiologist or expert during this investigation. That is the reason we don't do this test without cardiologist presence. Unless we do this test under the cardiologist presence for the patient's safety. Whatever the investigation, whatever the treatment, the first priority is patient safety. Safety, safety, safety. This is the recovery stage. After finishing the exercise, here you can see the patient is recovering. Maximum, the patient heart rate went to 140, 150. Now so gradually is coming down. You can see the patient achieved target heart rate 77%. Then gradually will come down. Recovery, we keep 2 to 3 minutes based on patient's complaints. Minimum 3 minutes will observe the patient after the exercise test. If the patient is willing to lie down on the table, we can allow them. If they are comfortable in sitting on chairs, we will keep as it is. The patients decide. It's very important. So after 2 to 3 minutes, we will recheck the blood pressure and heart rate. You see the heart rate to 136, 110. Now the heart rate is 114. You can see the live heart rate monitoring. So gradually the blood pressure is 140, 100 has come down. You can see there is no obvious ECG changes. Patient is sitting on the chair comfortably. So after 2 minutes, we will discard all the ECG cables. Finally, reporting is very important. How to report? What are the findings? What are the complaints we observed during this test? If the patient heart rate went up, we will mention. If the patient blood pressures went up more than 200, 300, we write. If the patient blood pressures went up more than 160, we write patient is hypertensive. If the patient is heart rate went up suddenly within first stage or second stage, more than 100%, we write the patient heart rate is hyper responsive. The patient heart rate goes down below 60, we write bradycardia response. If the patient hyper blood pressure is going down during that exercise, we write in the reporting hypotensive. If the patient gets chest pain, we write in the report patient developed chest pain. If the patient developed severe shortness of breath at any level, we mention the shortness of breath at every stage, first stage, second stage, third stage. If the patient developed any arrhythmia or ventricular ectopic, any bradycardia, any abnormal heart rhythm, we mention in the summary report, in the conclusion. The patient's report, everything is fine. Then we'll give that test is negative for stress inducible ischemia. Positive in the sense STT changes, angina. Sometimes when we stop the test abruptly before completing the test, we write inconclusive report. In conclusion, we can repeat the test even after 1 month or 2 months. So very important, I said before, every patient should undergo basic electrolytes, magnesium, calcium, echocardiography, very importantly, before every treadmill test. Very basic, don't forget it. Basic should undergo electrolytes evaluation, magnesium, calcium evaluation and echocardiography. Patient history is very important. However, sometimes patient can hide the factor knowingly or unknowingly. A duty of a sincere cardiologist to get all the information leisurely. They have to talk to the patient. This is not like a coming and going investigation. Talk to the patient leisurely and get all the information and counsel the patient. Every patient should be counseled before taking this test. Because of their anxiety, we have to stop the test at first stage or second stage without completing the target heart rate at 9 minutes or 12 minutes. Even if the patient achieves the target heart rate before 9 minutes or before 6 minutes, the test is going to be inconclusive. Don't forget to share this video, subscribe this video, and any doubt regarding cardiovascular medicine, investigation, drugs, treatment, write in the comment box. We give as early as possible answers to your questions and doubts. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.